Thank you. This is question number 2, and it comes to us from Crittenden County Assessor Bill Eddings. The newly issued FEMA floodplain maps have been by some admittedly inaccurate, resulting in larger areas of land to be labeled as in the floodplain. The result of this, confusion and increased flood insurance costs at a local level with no federal funding. How do you plan to address this in Washington, and what outcome do you expect? Senator.
We're going to fight. It's exactly what we're going to do. It is unfair, totally unfair, to ask one area of the country to meet a standard before you're going to ask the rest of the country to do that. It puts us at a complete disadvantage in terms of job creation, in terms of enticing industries to come in and locate into those areas. It is a flawed plan by FEMA. It is a flawed plan that is directed at simply trying to fill the coffers of the flood insurance corporation. And that's not the way we do things in this country. We know that we have spent tremendous hours and resources into building good levees. We work with the Corps of Engineers, and we will continue to work with them. But the fact is, putting some of our communities in those areas at a complete disadvantage, not only to other cities in Arkansas, but other cities across the nation. We've got to do something about that. We are working with the Corps of Engineers, and we have had multiple meetings with FEMA to try to address this issue. I've introduced a bill that would require no funding for the FEMA mapping program until counties and localities are happy with their input. There's another bill that's out there that I'm also a co-sponsor of, which will prevent the FEMA mapping as well. This is an issue that is critical to us. It's critical to us in terms of who we are and what we hold near and dear. Many of us that grew up on the eastern part of the state, particularly on the Mississippi River, but whether you grew up on the White River or the Little Red or any of the other rivers, you understand that there's virtually impossible to control Mother Nature. And what we've got to do is to be able to continue to provide the resources for good flood control, as well as good stable levees. We do not need to be subjected, and I will fight hard to ensure that we are not subjected to FEMA mapping that the rest of the country is not subjected to, that could harm certainly our ability to attract jobs, but also just the quality of life. Folks are seeing that they're having to pay more flood insurance for their homes, twice as much as they have in the past, for any kind of house insurance or home insurance, and it just doesn't make sense. So we'll be fighting hard on that issue.
Well, this is a really very, very important issue, and it's going to affect not only Arkansas, but truly communities all across the country. The mapping started several years ago. It was sped up after Katrina. I think it's fine, to gather information. In fact, those are the things that we need to be doing. The question is, what do you do with that information once you get it? And so we need to use common sense, we need to use good science, and we need to, where it's appropriate, flood insurance is fine. The question is, is it appropriate behind the levees and things that haven't been certified, which are in the process of going forward. So I very much oppose, what's happening right now. I'd like to put a moratorium on it. There is a question as to whether or not the agency is using this in the sense of trying to recoup their coffers because of all the floods and the natural disasters that we've had. And I asked my staff if there had been a government accounting study of this. There doesn't appear to be. And so we're in the process now of asking, for a government accounting study to go forward again, to see what's going on. But I understand the concern. We're dealing with this in the 3rd District. It's a very, very important problem. It represents economic activity. And I guess the thing that frustrates me is that I think every official, whether it's myself, you, everybody of importance right now needs to get up and say, how do I create jobs? How do I protect savings? How do I protect the pension plans? And as these agencies come out with this stuff, these are job killers. I mean, this is the exact same, it's in reverse. So again, it is something that we need to fight. I think the delegation is united in this, and hopefully in the coming months, we'll get something done in regard to providing definite relief